Angel City is back, but I don't think everyone was aware that it was ever gone in the first place. Titanfall 2 is the sequel to Titanfall, and that game featured a map called Angel City. That map was recently remastered and made accessible to players of Titanfall 2 for free. Angel City is praised for being one of the best maps created for this franchise because it allows players to manipulate the game's movement system in extraordinary ways. Because this map is so well suited for a pilot that knows how to move, today we're going to talk about Titanfall 2's movement system. Now let's get started. If you've played a first-person shooter before, then I'm sure you already know about walking, sprinting, and jumping. Those mechanics exist in Titanfall 2, and they aren't any different from what you're used to. Walking and sprinting are great, but the maps in Titanfall 2 are very large, so unless you plan on taking a lifetime to get from point A to point B, you're gonna have to wall run. Wall running is what happens when you jump next to a wall. This is a very basic movement technique, but one with a lot of subtle nuances to master. Wall running is significantly faster than sprinting on the ground, but an increase in speed isn't the only thing walls are good for. They'll help you get to much higher places. This is great for snipers or someone that likes to take in the scenery. When you're done hanging out on rooftops, sliding is a mechanic that allows pilots to preserve some of their forward momentum at the end of a wall run. It can even be used during a sprint to gain a quick burst of speed. Unfortunately, you can only slide for a limited distance. Also, sliding too quickly in succession will reduce the speed and distance of your future slides. I don't know, I guess the oil on your knees dries up, but thankfully you're a well-trained pilot and you won't be trying to slide around on the floor like you're at someone's slip-and-slide birthday party. The movement system in Titanfall 2 is at its best when you combine the forms of movement, namely sprinting, jumping, sliding, and wall running. When you first pick up the game, it'll be difficult to see and understand exactly when to wall run, or even why you should be doing it, but after some time, you'll realize that wall running isn't just a gimmick. It's a pilot's way of life. Okay, now that the epic music has stopped, let's talk about a few simple things you can do to improve your pilot mobility. Clambering is what happens when you try to jump over a ledge. It's slow, it's clunky, and it'll get you shot in the face 99% of the time. If you want to avoid senseless deaths, stop clambering. You're probably thinking, how am I supposed to get over ledges without clambering? A little move I like to call over the top. I saw this first on the YouTube channel Titan Time. Instead of running at a wall head on, start a wall run, double jump, then turn yourself towards your destination. It might take a little practice, but once you master the over the top, there'll be a lot less vulnerable moments in your gameplay. Not every pilot is skilled or coordinated enough to move at breakneck speeds. I'm one of those pilots, but that doesn't mean I can't hold my own or do well in fights. Even if you can't manage to hit top speeds consistently, if you can find a good rhythm, a flow, then you'll be in a good place. Look for a section of the map with a lot of flat surfaces that are easy to chain together and practice keeping your feet off the ground. It's like playing the floor is lava. Doing this will help you see the maps in a more three-dimensional manner, the way they were intended to be seen and used. Once you figure out how to keep your boots off the ground, you'll quickly realize it's very difficult to keep them that way in certain sections of the map. Even though you'll have to touch the ground from time to time, you don't have to sacrifice any of your forward momentum when you do so. Toggling a slide before you hit the ground will allow you to chain together wall runs that would otherwise be too spaced out. Another cool function of the slide is the uppercut. This might not be the most practical technique in the world, but knocking someone out with a Shoryuken, it's fun. Finally, the slide hop is a simple, not so simple technique that will allow you to traverse areas of maps that have no walls more quickly. Though this is a rare occurrence, sometimes you'll get stuck sprinting to your next destination. When that happens, slide hop. This is done by sliding and jumping the instant your slide begins. Normally, there are diminishing returns on sliding after a jump, but if you're precise enough, you can avoid the diminishing returns and slide hop your way to a new wall. I find that slide hopping works best when used as a supplement to wall running. In other words, instead of trying to slide hop everywhere, I use it to fill in the gaps in my wall runs. So there you go. Titanfall 2's movement system is simple to understand, but it has a very high skill ceiling, one that I have yet to reach myself. But even though the gap between an excellent pilot and an average pilot is very wide, an average pilot stands more than a fighting chance if he or she masters the basics and uses those basics to their advantage. As always, the name of the game is Titanfall 2, the name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.